Welcome to Now Go Lead, the podcast where we help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. Each episode, we provide inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you lead with confidence and clarity. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, our goal is to give you the tools and motivation to level up your leadership game. Hello and welcome back to Now Go Lead. Have you ever been let down in an important relationship? Let me just start by saying this. You need to be wary of where you put your trust. There's understandably almost an endless line of people who want an audience with the leader of their organization. For a follower, a strong connection with the leader can be very comforting and empowering, and for the leader, having a strong inner circle of trusted relationships is critical infrastructure for navigating the journey towards the vision. But what happens when you develop a trusted relationship with the wrong person? The problem is that you don't often discover you've made a mistake or misjudged someone until you look over your shoulder and realize they left at the first sign of uncertainty. That's when you understand that for them, the vision was only worth following as long as it benefited them personally. It can be very disheartening when you understand that somewhere during your attempts to grow and develop your people, you've made a critical error, and the organization will suffer as a result. I once had a leader in whom I had invested an incredible amount of time and energy over 5 years. We shared many moments as teacher and protege as I would share my philosophy on how leadership should be lived out practically in business. We also spent hours discussing the burdens inherent to true leadership. Things like the reality that a leader doesn't get to walk away during a moment of crisis or organizational upheaval. Honestly, I believe I'd raised a true disciple who understood my message and was ready for the upper echelons of true leadership. Fortunately, for an extended time, we really didn't face too many bumps in the road. But, as is normal in any organization, we eventually came upon a course-altering event. Now, typically, when I see these events coming, I begin working hard on the messaging process and trying to prepare everyone for the critical role they will play in leading the team through what lies ahead. Breaking the news that a crisis is looming requires its own careful handling. And for this moment, I decided to have individual one-on-one conversations with my team. So I sat down with this person and shared with them the news that the organization was about to face some serious changes. And they were reasonably concerned about the changes, but I assured them that things would work out even if I currently didn't have all the answers. Most importantly, I shared that I needed their help to shepherd the organization through this challenging period. I think in my heart, I knew I was asking for a big leap of trust from this person, but I was also trusting that my years of guidance would be a good foundation for them to weather this storm. Within a matter of a few days, this person came back to me and told me they were not on board for what was coming, and they were leaving to pursue an opportunity with more certainty. So the storm had hit, and for the first time, I really saw the roots were much shallower than I expected. Ultimately, the organization weathered the storm together, and I really missed the leader who moved on without us. But here's what the experience taught me. First, no matter their strength or resolve, everyone has a limit to what they are willing to withstand. If you get to know someone well enough, you'll know what is most important to them. It may be more difficult, however, to understand what they will be willing to sacrifice for the greater good. It's certainly fine to ask something of others you know will be challenging for them to accept. But you should never force someone into doing something they really don't want to do. It's a dangerous line to walk as a leader because you risk wielding your influence to push someone toward guilt or obligation. You must be willing to accept the limitations and priorities of others when they differ from your own. Not everyone will make the same level of sacrifice. Second, it's easy to put too much power and influence in the hands of someone who isn't ready or committed to the long-term demands of leadership. For many years, my philosophy was that ownership in a company was not a requirement for organizational leadership. My thinking at the time was that the cost of buying into a business was a huge barrier for someone who was struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. And I never wanted money to be a reason someone couldn't take the opportunity to lead. And this served me well as I felt free to develop others without feeling like they owed me something for my service. But as our team grew, I ended up with a great team of leaders with key positions in the company who had almost no ownership stake in the business. Their roots were shallow, but their influence was great. I learned that at a certain level of responsibility, the cost of ownership is a reasonable sacrifice. It means your most trusted leaders will have far more at stake when the storms arrive, and that changes everything about whether they leave or stay and fight. Third, when a trusted leader on your team decides to leave, it isn't necessarily a personal attack on your leadership or your vision. I've always taken it to heart when someone leaves. I've always believed that people don't leave bad companies, they leave bad leadership. And when that happens, I always look at myself first. Usually I can spot the problem pretty quickly, but sometimes people will leave for other reasons. They probably don't hate you. They'll move on with their life and slowly put the years they spent with you in some sort of context, somewhere between biased moments and actual truth. Whatever the case may be, you'll gain nothing by beating yourself up over every departure. People will move on, but the mark of great leadership you made will go with them. Today's a reminder to pay attention to the roots more than just what you see on the surface. There comes a moment when the growing leader must make a greater sacrifice than simply working more hours or taking on more responsibility. Take time to make sure the roots are aligned with the level of influence you have allowed others to have on your team. So take 5 minutes and consider, who has some shallow roots that need to be deepened? Where is my organization at risk because of leaders with too much influence but not enough roots? It's time to now go lead.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Now Go Lead. Join us next week as we cover a brand new leadership topic and help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. For more resources, tips, and inspiration, visit our website at nowgolead.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram at nowgolead and on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more leaders like you. Also, don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and friends who are on their own leadership journey. Now Go Lead is produced by HP Engineering Studios in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Now go lead.